Saskatoon Rowing Club in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, Canada. It's a wonderful day here. And my name is Russell. I'm going to be doing an introduction to the Concept 2 indoor rowing machine, or the ergometer, or more affectionately known just as the erg. Before we get started, I want to note that we have the area cleared off in terms of distractions. There's no kids or pets or anything that can get caught into the wheels for a pinch point. Just a few points to note on the erg itself. This is called the seat, and we have here the monorail, foot flex, the holder, the handle, the performance monitor, and the damper. Well, sorry, the flywheel and the damper. To take the machine apart, there's a tab that's right between the foot flex. I'm just going to lift it up and scissor them apart. And then you can see that there's a groove in the bottom, and that's what connects the two pieces together. When it's apart, it's really nice to be able to clean all of the fixed surfaces as well as the area underneath. It's also good for storing it. It takes up a little bit less room. So to put it back together, we're just going to line the groove up. You can feel it sit in, and then scissor them down together, and then just make sure that's put down. You just want to check on the bottom to make sure that that pin is in place. Always make sure that the machine is completely back together prior to getting on it or using it. To get onto the machine, we're going to approach it from the back, pull the seat towards us, and walk ourselves forward. Now we can get our performance monitor set for us. I like to set it so I'm sitting up tall, I'm looking about 6 inches above it, so that even when I'm at my finished position, I'm still looking into it. If it's too low, I find I kind of dump into it. So I want it setting up nice and comfortable. It forces me to sit up a bit. To adjust the feet, we're going to move the notched plates until the nylon strap is going just over where the toe creases on the foot, or at the top of the laces. And then to cinch up, I just pull that nylon strap tight. While we're here, to undo the strap, just put a hand on the bottom and a thumb on the tab. And as I push the tab out, I'm going to lift with my toes, and I can lift up and then step out. Prior to starting the machine, we'll put the handle into the holder. It makes it a little bit easier to reach, and we're going to move the damper up to about 3. Anytime you're rowing, anytime the damper on a 3 to a 5, it's a really good place to put it. So we'll get strapped in, pick up the handle, and we're going to start at the finish. And it's going to be hands away, body over. That is where we're at with our recovery. When we're at full compression at the top of the stroke, at the top of the slide, is the catch, and then driving through is the drive. So as I'm at the finish, I'm thinking about pulling into my mid-abdomen. My torso is hinging at my hips. I'm just going to about 11 o'clock position. My wrists are flat. My scaps are down and tight. My elbows are pulled kind of into my sides, not up like a chicken wing. And I'm pressing down through with my toes, but with a flat foot, with the heels and toes pressed all the way down, and my knees going down to the floor. As I go up the slide, it's going to be hands, body, and I'm going to hinge at my hips, and I'm going to create a box between my forearms, across my shoulders, back down, and then along the side too, from the handle down to the tops of my legs, up to my hips, up to my mid-abdomen, and across. Once I create that box, I can lift my knees into it, and go up to the top of the slide, to the catch. And I know I'm at the catch when my knees are just above my ankles, or whatever compression I can get to. If I don't have quite as good mobility as I should. So my knees often just get to a little bit before parallel. My arms are extended in front of me, not locked out, but relaxed but straight. My shoulders are, again, my scaps are still down and tight. And I'm sitting upright, not hunched over. Once I'm at that full compression, I'm going to drive with my legs first. And then as my legs get to about, my knees get 3/4 of the way down, I'm going to start opening my back, and then my arms, and then pressing through. And then sort of as we are at that point, I'm thinking about using the majority of my legs for the power, and then just at that last, as the legs are just getting about 3/4 of the way down, That's when my hips start to open, and then the arms finish the stroke. Some common mistakes that can happen early on with throwing, or whenever. It's not really early on, it's kind of always, and there's things that I work on often too. At the top of at the catch, you can over-compress. So that's where your heels kind of lift up a bit and your bum scooches underneath, and the shoulders reach over. So to correct, think about keeping just the knees at 90 above the ankles, pivoting forward to that 1 o'clock position, and hands up and scats locked and back. Something else that can happen is that the shoulders open early. So what that looks like is, instead of the legs going first with that body angle, the shoulders are going to pick it up first. I actually call this the cross-fitter special. A lot of little, big, strong back have worked really hard, and the first thing that happens is it's loaded. What happens when the shoulders open first is it transfers a lot of that power and most of your body weight into a down motion into the seat instead of a lateral motion that the performance monitor will reward as speed in meters. And it puts all that torque that's normally going through your legs, it has to now go through a bent lower back. It not only is inefficient, it puts a lot of undue strain on the lower back. So to correct it, sitting at the top at the catch, driving through with the legs, 3/4 of the way down, then the hips open. You may have good body angle. You may have good sequencing in terms of the shoulders and front of the hips. What can happen is it's more of an audio cue, but it's called shooting the tail. So we'll see if I can hear it here or not. What's happening is the legs are going, but the handle isn't. So it's a good body angle to start, but as soon as the hips open, the shoulders drop down, and yes, there's leg motion, but then it's putting a lot of torque on that lower back, and the legs are going to be doing work, but it's not going to reward the speed. So now it's becoming almost all hips and arms once those legs are already extended. So it's when we're setting up the catch, thinking about locking that body angle, that shoulders in front of the hips, and using just the legs and driving through. Another common mistake is at the finish, where instead of pulling into just that nice abdomen position, there's a desire to get more length and pulling way up high. And what happens when you pull up way up high is the seat can actually roll underneath, the knees break, and you kind of lose contact with the foot plate. The wrists get flat, and it means that the first motion, and actually it's not only uncomfortable, the first motion now is to get out, and there's a lot of vertical movement with the chain. Think about the drive, pull into target, and only target, and then hands away, body over. Length isn't gained on the finish, it's gained with a strong position of the catch. One more thing at the back, is from the finish, there's a hurry to get back at the slide, especially if someone's not used to ratio. What will happen is the knees will rise before that box is created, and it creates a lot of, again, vertical movement with that chain. Rather than having that vertical movement, it's getting that hands away, body over, and then up the slide. Anytime the chain is moving up and down, it's wasted energy. The performance monitor only rewards effort put into the chain as it's going in this horizontal motion. Anytime it's going up and down, there's getting no reward of meters for the work being done. So to get warmed up, we're going to do a pick drill. So a pick drill is where we're going to break down the parts of the stroke starting from the finish. Then it'll just be sitting in an 11 o'clock position. We'll go arms only, arms and back, then a 1/4 slide, half slide, 3/4 slide, and full slide. Now a quarter slide is where think of parts of a quarter from 12 degrees, going from here to from 9 o'clock to 12 o'clock. Now we're going to go up to just about 9:30, that's a quarter slide. Going up, and then so the hands are just rising up, so the knees are just rising a couple inches. Half slide is we're going to be going to about 10:30, so my hands are now going to be between my mid-shins and kind of my ankles. 3/4 slide is where we're going to get into, that knee is going to get into about an 11 o'clock position. My hands are going to be kind of above my toes, just in front of the foot flex. And full slide is where we're going to go right up to that full perpendicular 12 o'clock position and hand full extension. So sitting at the finish, attention, row. And as I'm doing this, I'm thinking about nice, steady rhythm. The meters are not important, the technique is. On my call in 2 strokes, we're going to go to arms and back. That's 1 and 2, arms and back. So pivoting at the hips, just going from that 11 to 1 o'clock position. Bring some ratio to the stroke, really hearing what the group is doing and using it to get in time. On my call in 2 strokes, we're going to go to quarter slide. So that's just above, so the knees are going to rise up a couple inches. In 2, that's 1 and 2. So it's important to know we're going to create the box and then the knees rise. And that's the focus. Your hands are going, the hips are swinging, just so you feel that tinge in the hamstrings. That's how you know you've gone just enough. In 2 strokes, we're going to go to half slide on my call. That's just above the ankles. That's 1 and 2, half slide. Focusing on the right mountain layback, strong finish position, keeping a good ratio, pressing my feet through the foot flex at the end of the stroke, really reinforcing that good swing, strong finish. In 2 strokes, we're going to go to 3/4 slides, that's above the toes, or just a little bit in front. On my call in 2, that's 1 and 2, up to 3/4. Nice and relaxed, squeezing through. In 2 strokes, we're going to go up to a full slide. Really focusing on that ratio. In 2, that's 1, 2. This stroke, full slide. We'll take 2 more. And row easy. Now we're going to set up the monitor for a minute of work and a minute of rest. And this minute is going to be really good for showing different levels of intensity. I'm going to keep the damper set where it is because the beautiful thing about this machine, or there's many beautiful things, but one thing that I really enjoy is that regardless of where the damper is set, the intensity is determined by the rower, not by the dial. So I'm going to be rowing at about a 16 to an 18 strokes per minute. And my split is going to be right around probably about 1:55 to 2 minutes when I'm on my intensity, my stronger strokes. And then when we get down to the minute of rest, my stroke rate is going to stay the same, but my split is going to come up to maybe about a 205, 210. And all that's changing is the input power. When I do that input power, I'm thinking about the drive with my legs. So when I'm at the minute on, I'm going to really be driving my heels down, really sharp catch, driving through, and really picking up that load right at the top of the catch, really as that flywheel's turning, just pick it up and really put a lot of energy into it. And then as I'm going down in the intensity level for that minute of rest, the paddle, I'm going to be, instead of picking up right away, I'll still get the same stroke rates, same ratio, but I'm going to change how strong and how much energy I use to pick up that flywheel. And for the most part, I won't be picking up very much at all. It's just going to be at the end of the stroke, and I'm paddling my way through it. So to do that, we're going to be able to press any key on the performance monitor that'll turn it on, and then press menu. Then we're going to go select workout, new workout. We're going to go intervals, intervals time, and it's flashing for the 1 minute, which is what we want. And we're going to use the top right button, the arrow over. We're going to press that 3 times, and it's going to be flashing on now the rest time. And it has the 0 flashing. We're going to press the plus on that to create 1 minute. And now we're going to press the button beside the check mark. Now that the monitor is set up, if we're doing a group and we had someone want to grab a glass of water or do a few stretches before we get set up, we have this will reset. I believe it's after 60 seconds. So what we can do is just press display, and it kind of cycles through and prevents it from going to sleep. And then we can get the group all in time to do the work piece together. So to start, we're going to start at the finish. So to bring the chain out, we're going to just pull very, very slowly, and it won't pick the machine won't start yet, and then we'll be starting from the finish. So we'll slowly extend it out. At the finish, pressing through, flat wrist, it's nice and strong, attention, row. Bring the stroke right down a bit, right off 17, 18. As I'm driving in, I'm thinking about that chain moving in a perfectly lateral motion. So as I'm driving in, my knuckles are going along the top of the table. And on the recovery, now the top of my knuckles are going on the bottom of the table. We're right at a 159 split. 5 seconds to go. And shift down. So just as we're on rest, doesn't mean we're not still thinking about good technique. Hands away, falling over with that hip hinge. Seconds to go. I like to think about even on the rest. Every stroke is on purpose. Like you meant to do it, take time. Take 2 more. So that, I'll just press menu and that'll stop the counter. So yeah, that concludes my portion of the introduction. There'll be more written down from my Learn to Row plan. There'll be a stretch prior to doing the work, after doing the pick drill. But yeah, so before we get off the machine, the first thing we're going to do is set the damper back down to 0. I have a habit of whenever my feet come out of the foot flex, the handle immediately goes up. It doesn't rest in there overnight. To clean the machine, we need to just use a little bit of Windex along the monorail, a little bit on the seat, just Windex along the monorail, a little bit of disinfecting wipes on the seat, and then disinfecting wipes for the handles. The performance monitor is not a sealed unit. It just needs once a week or so, a little bit of like vinegar or rubbing alcohol onto a cloth, and then you can wipe it up, but that's all it needs. On a monthly basis, it's good to oil the chain. It's best done with a two-person operation. And a microfiber or lint-free cloth, t-shirts work well. And all that's happened is you pull the chain out, and then this would be one person and this would be another, just checking that each link is moving freely, it's not kinked at all. If there is the mineral oil that Concept 2 provides with all the herbs, and just put a drop on it and then work the chain. But for the most part, these are all in really good shape. You got a club manager that helps take care of things, but it's always good to just do a second check whenever we're down. So that concludes my video submission, and I look forward to hearing back from you. Thank you.